Hi, this is Chef Janie Pendleton, and today we're back because tomorrow is my daughter's big college graduation bash. She just graduated from Purdue, summa cum laude, and so we're going to throw her a big family bash tomorrow, and guess who's doing all the cooking? Yeah, me. This is for my daughter. So, 2 lasagnas. We've got a regular meat pasta style lasagna going, you know, your standard lasagna, and we also have a chicken Alfredo and spinach lasagna. So stick with me, folks, because today we're throwing food in the kitchen. We'll start with about 8 quarts of water and about 2 teaspoons of salt. We're going to get that boiling here, and while that's coming up to a boil, for our meat lasagna, we've just got cracked black pepper, a teaspoon or more of salt, and we can go down as little as a half teaspoon, but we've got 2.5 pounds of hamburger here. And we just have some nice Italian seasonings, my own blend mix from my garden. And we're just going to take, and I put in a little bit of this 100% Italian extra virgin olive oil. Just to keep that olive oil flavor into the meat. And we're going to break this up, and we're going to fry this. And to the beef, I added 1 onion chopped and 3 yellow and red bell peppers. And again, we're just going to let this simmer until this is done, keeping it covered. Our meat sauce, we also added 2 cloves of chopped garlic. Here we have a couple of boxes of lasagna, you know, whatever brand, doesn't matter. And we have our favorite tomato sauce. You can use homemade, but homemade's a little watery. If you use canned tomatoes, which I did because I didn't have enough at the end of the season, I wanted to make some more and I didn't have enough tomatoes out there. I had more cherry tomatoes than I had anything else. So in a bowl, I want you to take some, low curd cottage cheese. It's got some milk fat on it here. Let me pour the milk fat off. Okay. Here I've got some feta cheese. Can you read that? We're going to dump all that in there. Okay. We're going to add 2 eggs to this. The 3rd egg in there. Use gloves if you want to. We're gonna layer it with the cheese, so we don't need much of that in there. And here I'm gonna add a little bit of parsley. About a tablespoon. Add some Italian seasonings. A teaspoon. Right there. Try not to make a mess like I just did. And we're gonna blend this together really well. You can use a whisk for this if you want to. Just want to incorporate that egg really well. And then to this, we're also gonna add some Parmesan cheese, Romano, and some Romano cheese. It's about half of a small container here. We're going to save that for the other. A little bit more Italian seasoning. People like the Italian seasoning. And we're just going to continue to blend this together. And this right here is going to make up for our filling with the jar sauce and the hamburger. And we're going to layer that in with our lasagna noodles. Drain the noodles. Alright, we're just going to drain our hamburger off. I'm going to use the butter spray or whatever spray you got. I'm just going to spray the pan really good because, yes, I really do want this to come out. And I am using some 9 by 13.5 disposable pans. I might wash them up and keep them, it just depends. But usually when I'm doing a crowd party, that's right there is what I'm going to have. And then what you want to do is you want to put a little bit of the pasta on the bottom layer. This keeps everything from sticking. And we're just going to spread a little bit of sauce on the bottom of the pan. This will help keep things from sticking. It'll also help keep the edges from drying out as well. Alright. Now we're going to start assembly. I didn't cook these till they were completely done. Just till they were just pre-al dente. Okay. See how nice those fit inside that pan? Perfect. That's why when I make lasagna, I really like using the metal pan. And we're just going to kind of make our adjustments here. Everything to kind of seat down in there nicely. If you want to, you can kind of overlay them just a little bit. That's fine. Not going to hurt anything. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to go for another layer of pasta sauce. I'll drizzle it on there just a little bit. Okay, again, spread it on like you would a pizza. You've been to the pizza store, you've seen how they spread pasta sauce on. That's all we're doing here. Make sure you get the edges because we don't want dry edges. Nobody wants the dry edges. Okay, there. Okay, see, just a thin layer, just like that right there. Then we're going to take and we're going to do a layer of the meat. Just like that. Make sure everybody's going to get some meat on their piece. Very, very hot. Woohoo, it's hot. And over here, we're going to take our mixture that we put the eggs and the feta cheese and the cottage cheese and the Roma, and we're just going to dollop it. You don't want too much, because the milk curds can make this too soupy. And remember, we're going to put this on 2 lasagnas, so we don't want to... Okay, there we go. Break that one up just a little bit. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to do a layer of shredded mozzarella cheese. And just a little bit of Italian spice, just a little bit. Kind of spread that out here just a little bit so it's not too strong in any one spot. A little bit. And we're going to do this again. So we keep layering until we get a full box of pasta in here. So we're going to do it again. You don't put too much pasta in here or you'll have a really wet pasta and it'll just fall apart. You want it to be able to cut your pasta and have it pretty much stay together. I mean, it doesn't have to. This is how, you know, if you're serving company, you still want it to be representable. I mean, personally, I like a pasta that's falling apart, but that's just me. But we're having guests coming, so I want it to be presentable. And I got another thing of this just in case I run out. Now, again, use my hands. Just use your hands. It's fine. Using your hands never hurt anybody. I'll even use my hands to dollop that on. Trust me, my hands are clean. Layer of cheese. We don't need any more Italian spice on this. I think we have plenty, actually. Okay, now we're going to go for another layer. And this looks good. That egg will thicken that white stuff up. It will be so good. And you can use ricotta cheese. Ricotta cheese is really good. I put feta cheese in it because I didn't have any ricotta. But usually I'll put a little ricotta cheese in here. Again, we're just going to smear on the sauce, and we're just going to continue to layer. I've got more of this up in the cabinet. I mean, if I need it, I can get it out of there. Get those edges. Don't be afraid of the sauce. But don't put on too much either, or it'll be too saucy. It'll be too wet. And again, get those edges. I'm ambidextrous, so I can do things both-handed. So you'll see me switch hands a lot. Yeah, that's what I do. We're getting done here. Oops, I just do that all over the floor. The dog will like that. Oops, just do more on the floor. I'm not sure how many layers we can do here, but we're just going to keep going. Layer. Just keep building it, and when you get it so high, about this high right here, I want you to take and kind of press down on it. Compressing it just kind of helps get some of the air bubbles out, and when you cut this, when we bake this, we're going to bake this tomorrow, because we're not baking it today, so I might as well tell you this now. We're going to bake this tomorrow at 325 degrees for about an hour, because it will be cold out of the refrigerator. And if you want, you can freeze this up ahead, by the way. Wrap this in foil really well, and you can freeze this ahead. This makes a good freezer dinner, good freezer meal. Especially if you know you're going to have a crowd come over once in a while, you know. That last minute large family that comes to visit on the holidays. Put one of these up in the refrigerator in the freezer, and I promise you they'll think you slaved all day waiting for them to come. Which you did, but just not when you're in the middle of working and everything else. It's all about timing. Okay. Last of the meat on here. Looks like I might have some more here for another layer. I might just keep going here. Yep, I'm just gonna keep going. I've got plenty. I've got plenty. Oops. Not sure what that is. Set that aside. Just gonna keep going. Oh, I've got the cheese. There we go. There. Now when I boiled these up a little bit, I put a little bit of the olive oil in the boiling water, and that really helps keep them. See how nice and intact they are? They look good. Again, just keep pressing. Get the air out of there. Keep it nice and level. Now this will be my last layer. I'm just going to go ahead and put all this on. Whee! Tuck the corners in if you want to. That keeps them from burning. Whatever you do, do not rinse out the jar and pour the water jar on here. Save that for something else, but put on the last of the meat. Like I said, this was 2.5 pounds of meat. You want it to look like it's going a little farther, you can break it up here a little bit more. Oh, this is going to be so good. Now I'm going to put this in like dollops per piece, like that. My daughter will like that. There we go. Let's save this for the other one. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're just going to lightly put some cheese here right on top. Right on top of where our little dollops of white things are here. We've got plenty of cheese throughout this thing, so it'll give you a nice look when it melts on there. And I've got some fresh mozzarella here. And I'm just going to take and put a pinch of fresh mozzarella right here in the center as well. Trust me, using the fresh mozzarella, you will not regret it. If you want, you can even make your own mozzarella. You can go on YouTube. There's plenty of videos out there on how to make your own fresh mozzarella cheese. Company bites into this, they will thank you for making it, trust me. Now we're going to take a little bit more of the Italian seasoning, and we're just going to give it a little sprinkle across the top, just a little sprinkle. Just so every piece is kind of got a little coloring to it. There we go. We have a very, very big lasagna, and it's going to take a while to bake this all the way through, especially since it's going in the refrigerator and it's going to be cold. So you just want to keep checking the internal temperature on this. I would use your meat thermometer. okay? I'm gonna make sure that you get this done. Now we're just gonna put our lid on here. On lasagna for a crowd right here. And so this right here will serve 12 servings. 12 thick, really thick, big servings.